pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese. Chinese pot, Chinese pot.
This is Chinese Pod. We bring you lessons in spoken Mandarin from Shanghai, China. My name is Ken Carroll.
And I'm Jenny.
Hello, Jenny. Could you tell us something about our lesson today? What level are we looking at?
Newbie.
Good, newbie, so absolute beginners. And our topic, what kind of things are we going to talk about today?
We're talking about what kind of bargaining.
Bargaining.
And saying it's too expensive.
Okay. You may well find yourself on a visit to China at a market somewhere. And believe me...
You have to use this phrase.
There's you get a lot of creative bargaining going on in the markets here. So you have to know something about how to deal with it. My own feeling in those markets, like, the big markets where you're buying clothes and stuff like that, or souvenirs, is, here's my advice. Go in, ask the price, right?
In Chinese.
In Chinese, of course, yeah. And we'll tell you how to say that in a moment. Ask the price. Then whatever they say, drop it by about 80%.
Yes.
And then look as if you're not interested and walk away.
Yes.
And you'll
that
close.
always works.
Yeah, you'll close. So that's what I said, drop the price 80% and say, oh yeah, okay, and walk. And they'll be coming after you.
Yes.
And you'll have a reasonable deal on your hands. Now, let's give you the kind of language now that you might need to actually to do that, because as Jenny says, if you can do it in Chinese, it's all the better.
It's all working for you more favorably. They tend to think, maybe like the industry.
Indeed. Well, one of the other funny things that I notice in the market is, the people in the market selling, they're not perhaps the most educated people, and they haven't probably studied a lot of English, and so they have this very interesting pidgin English that the way they speak, very heavily accented and kind of, they actually don't speak English in any real sense, but they know all the hard bargaining words, and it sounds funny. I won't do them the injustice of trying to copy them unless I sound like I'm mocking them. I think they do really well considering.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Absolutely.
Their language skills.
Indeed. Anyway, so it's a lot of fun at the market. So let's have the dialogue now, and this will give you some kind of basis with which to bargain. Now we'll have the dialogue 3 times, and after that we'll come back and we'll break it down for the more analytic people out there. So let's sit back and listen to the dialogue.
多少钱
100块钱，
太贵了。
你说多少钱？
Second time. 多少钱
100块钱，
太贵了。
你说多少钱？
Third time. 多少钱
100块钱，
太贵了。
你说多少钱？
Well,
that was short.
It was, but
efficient.
hopefully useful. Now, translations, I think, are the way to go right now.
多少钱
How much is that?
多少钱
How much is it?
多少钱100块钱
It's 100 yuan, 100 renminbi.
100块钱
100 renminbi.
100块钱太贵了
That's too expensive.
太贵了
That's too expensive.
太贵了你说多少钱
So, name your price.
你说多少钱
So, how much are you willing to offer?
你说多少钱
Hey guys, it's Michael here at Chinese Pod, and we want to say thank you to all of our faithful subscribers. If you're not registered yet, head over to ChinesePod.com now and get 20% off.
We got promo codes. Save your money. Promo codes. Learn Chinese. Register now at ChinesePod.com.
Use promo code GET20 at checkout to get 20% off your first year.
Okay. Now, you see here some very, very basic stuff. Now, the first question is...
多少钱?
Good. Now, the word 钱 means...
Money.
Money. Now, and so to ask the question, the price of something, you say...
多少钱?
Now, to be honest, if you just point at something and say 多少钱, I mean, that'll function. They know what you mean. But you really should preface that with, 请问 or something slightly more polite, let's say. For now, that's fine. I think we looked at 请问 in other lessons, but for now, don't worry about it. This is good enough.
Yeah, and as long as you say it with a smile on your face,
that
fine. Will work too.
Yeah. So that question of questions, let's hear that again, please, Jenny. You're asking, how much is this?
多少钱?
Good. Now, I've just said 钱 means money, and 多少 literally means, it means how much, and 钱 means money. So, how much money? In English, we just tend to say how much is that. We don't refer to money, but in Chinese, you do. Now, the answer was...
100块钱. 100块钱.
Now, you may have heard at the end there, 钱, it's the same 钱, meaning money. Right?
Yes.
Now, 100块钱, 100, how do you say that?
100.
Good, that's 100. Now, 200.
200.
300.
300.
400.
400.
And the last one, 500.
500.
Okay, now, so just to give you the sound, the constant there, of course, was the bai, meaning, and that literally means 100. Now, so let's hear that again, please. So the cost is 100 renminbi.
100块钱.
Now, 块essentially means something like dollars. In this case, he didn't use the word renminbi, but it is implied that it is renminbi, Chinese dollars, of course. So the word 块 probably best translated as dollar, let's say, or something the equivalent. Now, so again, 100 renminbi.
100块钱. 100块钱.
And the 钱 at the end emphasizes that it's money. You don't do that in English, but you do it in Chinese. All right. Now, that's too expensive.
太贵了. 太贵了.
Now, that's a useful phrase
yes.
at the markets. Now, it doesn't mean you go around everywhere in China bargaining, because you don't. I mean, you don't bargain in restaurants or or department stores and generally speaking,
you get thrown out.
You would. And generally speaking, you don't have to bargain your way through life here. We're talking here about the markets, in the tourist spots and stuff, buying your souvenirs and stuff like that. So again, you want to say, hey, that's too expensive.
太贵了. 太贵了.
Now, 贵 means expensive.
That's right.
And 太 means
too much.
So it's too expensive. One more time, please, Jenny.
太贵了. 太贵了.
Okay, very, very important. 太贵了. Now, so the person there who's selling to you will say, then this is common after a little bit of bargaining and banter to and fro. They might say,
你说多少钱?
Now, once again, 多少钱 meaning how much. And then at the beginning it was 你说. Now that means you say.
Yes.
So literally it means is you say how much money. So in other words, the hawker is saying to you, well, what are you willing to offer for it? What's your best price or name your price? So one more time.
你说多少钱?
Good. Now, 你 once again means you. 说 means to say. And as we've had, 多少钱 means how much money. Now, I think that's enough for a newbie lesson right there. There's quite a lot in there, and hopefully it's practical. I say we could listen to the dialogue again at this point.
多少钱?
100块钱.
太贵了.
你说多少钱?
Second time. 多少钱?
100块钱.
太贵了。
你说多少钱？
Third time. 多少钱？
100块钱。
太贵了。
你说多少钱？
So you want to learn traditional or simplified characters?
Can I just learn to speak Chinese? I really don't want to write or read. It's too much for me.
Are you one of the learners that told us early on that you just want to speak and listen to Chinese and you think Chinese characters are way too complicated? Then I really think you should check out our new introduction into how to read and write Chinese characters. It focuses on simple characters that you encounter in a Chinese language environment every day. In 11 entertaining episodes, we set out to convince you that Chinese characters are actually quite easy, and we hope that you will soon share our excitement. Visit 88 characters on www.chinesepod.com/88 and give it a try. Or search for the first episodes on the Chinese Pod channel on YouTube. It's as simplified as that.
Okay, lots of useful stuff there. We hope that was useful. Remember, when you get into the markets, the little piece of advice I gave you. I'm talking about the tourist spots here.
Yes.
Drop the price, look as if you're not interested, walk away, try to speak as much Chinese as possible,
yes.
and you'll do perfectly well. Okay, hope that was useful. We'll be back again tomorrow with more lessons here on Chinese Pod. Don't forget, of course, that on ChinesePod.com you can find all of this, the transcripts and the exercises and all sorts of other things to help you consolidate what you hear in the audio from Shanghai right now, though. However, it is time for us to say 再见.
As usual, Chinese Pod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.chinesepod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number 0209. So just go to www.chinesepod.com/0209 and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again, www.chinesepod.com/0209.
Chinese Pod, Chinese Pod.